So yesterday, we discussed the Saudi bombing of a Doctors Without Borders hospital in Yemen, killing at least 10 people and wounding over 20. They say that they were trying to get a Houthi rebel stronghold, but Doctors Without Borders has now released the fact that they repeatedly told the Saudi government, and they repeatedly told all sides in the conflict that these are our coordinates, we are here, this is a hospital, don't do anything here. Nonetheless, Saudi bombed. So the day before that, we also discussed another Saudi bombing, this time of a school in Yemen. On top of that, they recently bombed a marketplace, they bombed a potato chip factory, and they bombed the main bridge to get into an area of Yemen that desperately needs continued humanitarian aid. So I think you guys are seeing a pattern here. They might maintain, oh, it's such an accident. We keep hitting civilians. One time they hit a school for the blind. That's the point, guys. This is what they're doing. What, you think all of a sudden the Saudi government decided to pull a good set of ethics out of their ass when we already know that, women are forced to cover up, they're officially second-class citizens, we have all atheists are declared terrorists, they behead people for witchcraft and sorcery and drug smuggling. No, obviously this isn't a government that's overly concerned with human rights. The whole premise of the government is to do the opposite, not be in favor of human rights, be in favor of fundamentalist Islam, Salafi Islam. So, now we finally have the U.S. State Department saying something about what's been going on over there. The Intercept reports here. After the U.S.-backed Saudi-led coalition bombed a hospital in Yemen supported by Doctors Without Borders on Monday, the U.S. State Department offered a rare condemnation of the coalition's violence. Quote, "Of course we condemn the attack," said Elizabeth Trudeau, a spokesman for the State Department. Now, that's good, so we got to step in the right direction. You're condemning it. Lovely, lovely. Now, in terms of finding a way to ameliorate the problem, finding a way to just overall make sure it doesn't happen again, maybe, or bring people to justice, that crazy idea, they continue here. Quote, "Despite the condemnations, Trudeau refused to say whether the State Department would reconsider arming the Saudi regime." Here's her exact quote, "I have nothing to preview on that." So let's put this into perspective and let's put this into context. The Saudi government has repeatedly bombed schools, they've repeatedly bombed hospitals, they've repeatedly bombed mosques, they've repeatedly bombed marketplaces, they've bombed the main way that humanitarian aid gets into the region. They've gone after civilians ruthlessly, viciously, and obviously on purpose to anybody that has a set of eyes. They've displaced millions of people within their own country. They've killed over 7,000 people since the beginning of the bombing, over 50% of them civilians. And this is the best that you're going to get from the U.S. Why? They're our ally. So the best you get is, of course we condemn the attacks. Okay, great. Now, are you going to do something about it? No. That's cute. All right, then do me a favor. I don't want to hear anything from you guys ever with your bullshit crocodile tears about how much you care about the effects of terrorism. Because this is terrorism. And there's another angle to this grotesque monstrosity of a situation as well, which is we give Saudi Arabia weapons, they turn around and arm Sunni militias on the ground in Yemen fighting against the Shia Houthi rebels. Who are those Sunni militias? Al-Qaeda. We give them weapons, they give it to Al-Qaeda, and then Al-Qaeda fights in Yemen. And then the next time there's a jihadist attack in the West, of course, the United States, in the strongest terms, we condemn this and we have to stop, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. There is a way to cut back the effectiveness and the number of attacks coming from that camp. Stop arming them. That crazy idea. Ronald Reagan did it with the Mujahideen. He armed them to fight against the big bad godless Soviet Union, the communists. Well, guess what? Later on, the Mujahideen broke up into the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, and they used those weapons against us. We're doing it again in Syria. We're arming rebels in Syria because they're against Assad. Whoops, come to find out, many of the rebels are Islamists and jihadists. Stop arming them. Did you know Saudi Arabia did these 2 attacks, the one on the school, the most recent one on the school, and the most recent one on a Doctors Without Borders hospital, directly after the U.S. government announced, we're going to give you $1.15 billion more in weapons, including tanks this time. So, and they go, oh, great. Now let us demonstrate how we will not give a fuck about international law or human rights or any of that stuff after you announce you're going to arm us more. The Canadian government, Justin Trudeau, they decided they're going to give billions of dollars in weapons to Saudi Arabia too. You're making your fucking bed, man, and eventually you're going to sleep in it. You know exactly what you're doing is wrong. You know you're arming some of the worst people on the planet, but you keep doing it anyway. Why? Because business as usual that's the way things work. So we got an oil deal with them. They're our buddies. They've been for a long time. So we'll look the other way as you do fucked up shit because whatevs, you're on our team, so what are you going to do? Same thing with Israel. Give them weapons, give them money. Oops, are you doing occupation and oppression and an apartheid state of the Palestinians? Well, let me wag my finger at that as we continue to not fix it and do dick. But you're our ally, so yiffy-skiffy. The grotesque hypocrisy on human rights. Imagine a U.S. enemy was this egregious in how they're doing atrocities. Yeah, we bombed a fucking school. Yeah, okay, whatever. We bombed a hospital. We bombed a mosque. We're bombing marketplaces. Whatevs, dude. Whatevs. How quickly the U.S. a rogue terrorist nation. That's what it is. And by the way, you think this isn't breeding anti-Americanism? The names on the weapons and the munitions found in many of these places, and they're using cluster bombs, which are against international law, but they have the names of the places these are built in the United States. You think somebody in Yemen is going to see that and go, those lovely Americans, they're wonderful. They're going to go, why the fuck are they arming them? We're also giving them some coordinates. So we're taking a more active role, not just arming them, taking an active role in their massacre of civilians in Yemen. Totally unacceptable. It has to stop. No more of this milquetoast. Of course we condemn it. Show me. Show me what you mean by condemning it. You want to actually stop arming them? How about that? Maybe that's a way to condemn it. You want to slap some fucking sanctions on them? How about that? That's a way to show them you're serious and show the world you actually care about human rights, but you're not going to do it because you don't fucking care, because if they're on our team, in your mind, whatever doesn't count. They're good by definition because we have business deals with them.